When I saw Dad today, he said, first thing he said to me, he was like, I saw your wife and your mother-in-law on Facebook. I'm like, what? Like, and he didn't tell me the context.
He's
I'm
so
like,
funny, dude.
and I was like, okay. And then he was like, it was some new building or something. I'm like, oh, okay. I was probably, yeah. So I guess he was talking about this.
No, it's just that your dad watches my stories more than you do.
Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh Youngbar, and I have with me my co-hosts.
Lucas. I don't do what. Oh, I give up. What else am I supposed to say?
And on that note, I'm Claudia. Nice to see you.
And I'm Jared. Good evening.
All right, so on today's episode, we'll be discussing One Piece Season 1, Episode 2. But first, talk a little bit about some things we've been watching, and we normally kick it off with our Anime Corner.
Welcome back to Anime Corner, and today I'm going to shout out Spy Family, which is spelled Spy X Family, the same as Hunter x Hunter. And Spy Family is super good comedy. It is really well done. It's about basically the best spy in the world, so like James Bond level like spy, but he's tasked with this mission to figure out more about the specific head honcho who's basically gonna end the world. And the only time that he's ever seen in public, and the only thing that anyone knows about him, is that his son goes to the specific school. So what he's tasked to do is create a fake family and get this child to go to this elementary school, keep in mind. So it's not like a high school. They can't like have some slightly trained... Okay, so there's this kid that has to be sent to the school. But then also for admission, it's all about elegance. The school's all about elegance and this and that and the third. So he also needs a wife. So he gets this wife who they agree and their situations work because she happens to be an assassin. So he's a spy. She's an assassin. His daughter happens to have telepathy, so she can read the minds of her mother and father, who are an assassin and a spy. And then they end up getting a dog who can predict the future. And then the daughter can read the dog's thoughts, so then she can predict. And so then there's like this like quirky, like very comedic relief of different things happening because the daughter plays a way bigger role than they're like realizing because she can read the minds and it's really good. Definitely recommend watching. The second season just started airing a couple weeks ago, and I believe that's on Saturdays, but don't quote me on that.
Is there a good English dub?
Oh, I believe so.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. I know someone started watching it and said it was good, but I haven't confirmed that myself.
Right.
But I can let you know next week.
Cool.
And then The Eminence in Shadow Season 2, still going strong. Already had a really good fight. And it was just like you just see how strong he is. Still hasn't met his match whatsoever. And so we'll see if that actually comes to fruition towards the end of the season.
You watch anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
I didn't watch much else. Did start Sex Education Season 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it season 4 of that now?
Which is also the final season.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I started watching it too.
Yeah, at least the first episode, strong. It was funny. It was really funny.
Yes.
Some really funny moments.
Absolutely.
Laughing out loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And then Lego Masters still keeping up with that, which is still going strong as it always does.
Awesome.
It was episode 3. They had to build volcanoes.
Nice.
It was some really, really cool stuff.
Volcanoes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. Season 3 of Sex Education was like deterred me.
Yeah, it was
Like
a little
crazy.
rough. Little rough.
It was a
make it through
rough. It was a rough season.
But this has got a good, strong start. This
yeah,
season.
I think I only made it through about half of the third season before I stopped watching it.
I think I'm on episode 4 or 5,
Oh.
I think you're almost done.
and I
you're
think I am
way
almost
more-
done.
I think you're way later than that.
I
even.
think so because it's held me this long. Like I've just been wanting to keep watching it, so it's a really good season.
Nice.
I'm glad they're ending on a high note.
Yeah.
I got just a couple things. So, Claudia watched this with me a little bit. The Fall of House of Usher. Not too much though. Didn't get that far into it, but
You liking it?
yeah, it's cool.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and it's very much his thing. What's his name? Mike Flanagan.
Yep, Mike
Yes.
Flanagan.
Yeah, very similar to his other stuff, but it's awesome, and I just love the theme of it. All the Edgar Allan Poe.
Did you ever watch Haunting of Hill House?
The first 3 episodes I think I watched of it, and then I didn't watch anymore. I don't remember why. I think that was when I started watching Mindhunter,
Okay.
Ooh.
which is a really
Yes.
good show.
Yeah.
Although
One
I
of the
had to take a
best.
break the first time I watched it because I binged the heck out of it and it broke my brain for
Yeah.
a minute.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
I was like, how am I still watching this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Because but it was
Anyway-
really good.
Anyway, I was just gonna say Mike Flanagan did Haunting on Hill House as well. So that's
Yeah.
like he like show runs and writes and
Mhm.
like directs some of
He
it.
does all of it.
I think so.
Wow.
No, I don't think if he directs all the episodes, but
Okay.
I think he
He
like,
writes it all.
I like that he uses the same cast too.
He does-
Essentially.
does
Yeah,
like-
the cast
like
is
three
great.
seasons, same
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much all the same people are in this one again, and yeah, very very cool vibe so far, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I watched again very little bit, but the show that we've been mentioning that just came out, Lessons in Chemistry on
When did
Apple.
you start it?
I did, and I'm going to preface this with I very much do not like Brie Larson, but it's a show set in the 50s, and if anyone knows me, if there's a show set in the 50s, I'm going to watch it no matter what because I love that decade. And it's cool. It's the set design, all that. Like they did really well with all that, which I figure they would. It's Apple. They
They got the budget.
they got the budget, yeah. But it's cool, yeah. It's about her starting a cooking show,
Yes.
and she's like she's a scientist though, but she It's cool. It kind of does the thing with a lot of shows do, where it starts with her already on the show, and they're like in the middle of filming an episode, and then it does the jump back to see like how she got there. But yeah, and then just one more thing. It's actually a movie, but I wanted to mention it because it has a really awesome old school feel, but it's a brand new movie called Reptile on Netflix. And it's oh man, I didn't look up the director. It's his first movie ever. He's done kind of similar to some of the other directors we talked about. He's done a lot of music videos, but this is his first feature film. And it's very inspired by Fincher, I would say, which is awesome. And that kind of vibe, I would say, of maybe more like Zodiac, not as much as like Seven, even though it still has a little bit. So speaking of Mindhunter, also very similar to that too. And it's really good because I was worried, a lot of new movies, it's harder to find the good ones, but this is a very good one from a brand new director that it's awesome. It's great cast too. It has Benicio del Toro, Alicia Silverstone,
Well,
yeah, and Justin Timberlake.
well,
Wow.
Yeah,
so odd mixture.
it is odd, but it's
mixture of people.
That is.
yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, then is it time for a reality check?
This ain't reality TV!
Welcome to Reality Check. That graphic is awesome, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It's amazing. Let's start with Survivor. Okay. So we're on episode 3. The 4th one comes out tonight, so I haven't seen it. But in last week's episode, shocker, Lulu loses again their immunity challenge. So they get sent back to tribal council. Now, when a team loses like 3 consecutive immunity challenges, their numbers are dwindling very fast. While if it's more of an even split up and people are, losing members, they'll make it 3 teams to the merge, right? They have 3 people left on their team at this point. So they're forced to do a merge in the next episode. Like, there have to be, because there's no way that everybody else can have 6 people and then they have 3 in challenges. So I'm thinking there's going to be a merge. I think that at the end, like, credit scene, it showed everybody dropping their buffs. So they're going to be 2 teams, I'm assuming, at this point, unless he splits it into 3. I don't know why I do that. Just do 2. But so the members of Lulu might be able to experience some winning once they split off into these new teams. So that's exciting. They had a blind side at Tribal Council, though, because Sabaya and Sean were thinking they needed to vote out Caleb because Caleb is a very big threat psychologically. So they had this plan where they would bring in Emily, who's at the bottom of the totem pole, in on this, 3-number voting to get Caleb out because they didn't want his gameplay in the game any longer. Emily, in a baller move, tells Caleb, they're playing you. You need to vote for Sabaya tonight because Sabaya doesn't have her vote and she's going to try and vote you out. Now, back in the last episode, Sabaya got a Beware advantage. And when you get a Beware advantage in Survivor, you have to do the things that this paper tells you to get your immunity idol, or you do not have a vote in the game until you get the immunity idol, right? So she chooses to play. She gets to wherever she needs to go, and she gets this tall candle, like a wax, looks like a little tiki pole, right? And the immunity idol is inside of the wax. You have to burn it to get it. They haven't won any challenges. They don't have flint. They have yet to make a fire in this game. So she just has this little wax thing she's been carrying around, right? So she has this plan at Tribal Council because she does not have her vote until she gets this immunity idol, that she's going to drop it in the fire pit at Tribal Council, let it melt, cook it, pull it out, right? So
I'm surprised they let her do that.
Me too. I'm surprised Jeff let her do that,
Yeah.
but she did it. She gets it out, right? And of course, there are stipulations with this immunity. You can either play it in tonight's Tribal Council, or you can play it tonight's Tribal Council and have a vote, or if you don't use it tonight, you do not have a vote, but you can use it further in the game. So she decides, Sabaya, I'm not going to play the immunity idol because I think I'm safe because of this awesome plan I came up with, right? And she does not vote, thinking that Sean and Emily are going to vote for Caleb, and they have the numbers, so it's fine. Caleb votes for Sabaya, and so does Emily, getting Sabaya out of the game. It was like a really good move for their Survivor resumes, because at the end they have to convince everybody why they deserve the $1 million. So this is they're building up good resumes already. So I'm excited to see where the merge goes in the next episode and start seeing some actual competition because it's really sad seeing them lose all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so Love is Blind. I finished Love is Blind. There were 2 weddings. It was Stacy and Izzy, and it was Lydia and Milton. Okay. So the first, I remember last episode I said Stacy and Izzy are not going to make it, right? I was correct. They get to their wedding day. The priest goes, Izzy, do you take Stacy to be your wife? And he says, I do. They gets to Stacy, I love you so much, but I'm not in a good place. I don't think this is something we can do right now.
She sounds exactly like that.
So
Exactly.
That's wild.
I want to explore what we have, but we just need more time. And that's not something we've had so far.
That's
And of
spot
course,
on.
Izzy's like devastated, right? But he's like, it's okay. I love you. Whatever. Okay. And then we
Cut your
go,
losses.
yeah. And then we
Yeah.
go to Lydia and Milton, and they both say, I do, and they get married. Okay. So I was very happy to see their relationship progress because I thought they were very good. Milton is this great level-headed guy, and he's an exceptional person in his character, and Lydia's kind of this firecracker, and I think that they just balance each other out. So the next episode, the last episode, was a year later interview with everybody that's was on the show, right? Lydia and Milton are still together, which is really good to hear. They did not split up, right? Stacy and Izzy, after the wedding, they did not go any further. And even Izzy explored his relationship with another girl from the pods that Stacy hated. So apparently they were at a bar and they started making out and doing all this crazy stuff. So they were just a train wreck to begin with, and everybody saw it coming. Sorry guys.
Yeah.
Neither of you are ready for this. But Milton and Lydia are together, and it's great, and I'm very happy for them, and I really hope that this experiment works for them. I mean, if it does, that's wild to you guys. I mean, what are the chances, right?
Did we figure it out if it's actually casting? You said it's casting in DC, or is it actually filming there too?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
I would assume, because this one was
This was
casting in
Texas,
Houston,
right.
and it was when they
Filming.
got back from their honeymoons, it was filmed and shot in Houston,
Okay.
and they had their apartments in Houston.
Well, that's cool. The next one's going to be in DC.
Yeah. Might see somebody we know.
I might actually have to watch that one.
I know.
We have to all get in on a
Darn.
reality check.
All right, and that's it for reality check. That's all I have.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And all right, so now let's get into our feature
Yeah.
feature presentation.
Woohoo.
One Piece live action, season 1, episode 2, The Man in the Straw Hat. This episode is directed by Mark Jobst. I don't know how you say his last name. He directed the first episode as well. And then this one's written by Ian Stokes. Brief summary: Luffy, Zoro, and Nami find themselves imprisoned on an island overtaken by a deranged clown pirate Buggy. And then Kobe joins the Marines and proves his mettle. So overall thoughts?
All right, I'll go. I was waiting to see if anyone else would. It's still just a really fun show. Like, I think I mentioned last time about seeing Buggy at the end of the first episode. And so we get a lot of him in this one. And yeah, so good. And you, Lucas, you were saying he's spot on too.
Spot on. Like the guy who is voicing him does such a great job at like portraying like how like deranged is like the best way to like he's just like Buggy the Clown is just Buggy the Clown. Like there is no way to really describe him. He's crazy. He needs to be in the spotlight, and his devil fruit allows him to just
That
be
was
a
very
freak,
cool
right?
to see
yeah.
too.
So
Yeah,
and it's really
well,
cool.
and I wanted to mention him specifically, the actor that's playing him.
Mm-hmm.
So his name is Jeff Ward. He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you would have seen him in Hacks. He's also in Brand New Cherry Flavor, which is a very good miniseries
what's
on
he in
Netflix.
Hacks?
Weird show.
He was in like a few episodes.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a good actor. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time because I was one of the few that actually watched that whole show.
I didn't
watch the whole show.
Yeah, but I mean, not all at once. I watched it as the year,
Okay.
like
Yeah, as they're coming out.
yeah. But yeah, no, he's great. Yeah, you mentioned the devil. Like it's cool to see his powers. And they still made it because, like, I think I mentioned this last time. I'm like, how they're gonna do all this like crazy stuff in live action and not be weird. I thought they still did it like in a really cool way.
Yeah.
In this episode, even though it's kind of crazy what his.
I mean, I think they
power
pull
is.
it off.
Yeah.
I think it, again, goes back to like the balance of that like good campy style to it that allows to have those things that are a little off, but it works because it doesn't need to be, because it's not taking itself too serious.
I think the anime and manga as a whole play a really large factor in that, because it's like it's almost like that as well. And like going back to what I was talking, it's kind of similar to Emerson Shadow. Like it's not taking itself seriously, and so like the goofiness and like the portraying like they're the hero, or like they, the extra stuff that they do, like it doesn't feel awkward or weird or strange that they're doing it. But I know for a fact it's way harder to do in live action, so they're doing a really good job at portraying that lost my word.
The style, just the
That style,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know why.
the style. Yeah. I mean, just my overall thoughts is, it was a fun episode, and it was just kind of like after the first episode, introducing you to a bunch of people, it was fun to kind of see them just all work together a little bit and just kind of and actually start to become a team. So
But then it all come crashing down at the end.
Well, they're still not like a team yet, right?
Not,
Yeah,
they
not
don't
officially.
like to call each other a team.
not
Right.
officially.
Except for
Right.
Luffy.
Well, yeah, Luffy. Yeah.
Luffy
Luffy's
thinks they're a
Luffy
team.
he's like,
Yep.
oh no, you're joining me.
Yeah.
Which is why they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like this, how we get a lot of that, like how well this show portrays anime like style, like kind of goofy
Tropes,
things. Yeah,
anime tropes,
exactly.
yeah.
Like how he can break apart and go back together, and then they're stretching Luffy like to max capacity. Well, this is a non-spoiler one, right? Do I have to restart?
No, you don't understand.
Okay.
But yeah, but we're supposed to just be overall.
Okay,
one,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I just like how this episode shows, like in a live action way, things you would normally see in an anime, but they do it so well, and you see a lot of that in this episode in particular. Like you get, you obviously get the highlights of it in the first episode, but this one shows off their capability in that way a lot, and it's entertaining. I mean, it's so entertaining to watch, and I think it's well paced too.
Yeah, and I also can, we were doing this weekly now, and I totally get it though, like, because I don't binge stuff very often, but I totally get why you did binge it, because I very much want to watch the next one like immediately.
That's just anime. That's
Yeah.
So they did a good job at actually doing that as well.
Yeah.
It's just like anytime you watch an anime and there is the next episode, you're like,
We'll do one
I
more.
mean, I can do one more.
Yeah.
And then I could do one more after that.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into spoilers.
Yeah.
So we start off with Kid Luffy practicing with his new powers,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of learn a little bit about the fact that the seawater can take away his powers.
It's his
I was
kryptonite.
wondering about
Well,
that.
Yeah.
it doesn't take away his power.
Just weakens him.
It's a curse. Oh, what is it? I forget the exact specifications. So don't ridicule me, anime connoisseurs out there. But it has something to do with
They're going to come for you for
yeah,
sure.
oh yeah, for sure. Because I already know people are watching this. There's the devil fruits have something to do with like a contract when you eat it, and so then like the god of the sea or something like that takes away your, because they like hate the person that has, I don't know. There's something goofy with it. Basically, you can't swim in seawater. It's saltwater specific, but it also weakens you in general. So like even if you were standing on land and like you were like thrown, like it also, yes, takes away the power, but it also just like takes away your human power in general. Like you just like you wouldn't be able to like move
So
or
like
do anything.
kryptonite.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that
that's-
is a good example.
It's
Yeah.
kryptonite. Yeah.
It is.
Because kryptonite not only takes away the powers, but also like slowly
Yeah.
it kills Superman. Like it basically weakens him so much. Yeah.
Right, but it doesn't hurt them. It just like makes you like you have like no energy.
So yeah,
like,
it's still a
It
little
doesn't
different.
hurt
Yeah.
Superman.
yeah. I thought it doesn't it? I don't know. I'm not a
I think
DC.
it just makes
Oh.
him like
I
weak.
thought
I'm not a I know I'm not
I don't know
a,
because they like it doesn't like
Did
I feel
Superman
like people
feel pain?
doesn't I feel like
Yeah, I think it's more just weakens him. I don't think it like he's like suffering.
In pain.
Yeah.
probably varies on which version you're talking
Well,
about.
that
'cause
too,
they
yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
they probably
True.
Yeah.
played
True.
with the
well, regardless, eventually, yeah, you'll like there's different types of devil fruits, and like one of them is a Logia, I believe. Man, I'm gonna get ridiculed. I haven't watched One Piece in so
Yeah,
long.
you're gonna get
But this is like
roasted.
way farther in that you find out about this stuff. Like Logia devil fruit would allow you to, it basically like normal things wouldn't be able to hit you, right? So like if you tried to punch them with a Logia devil fruit, let's say it's slime, okay, you're gonna punch right through them because they're just made of slime. It doesn't hurt them, do whatever. People who are really strong, who have something called haki, can use that to create armaments on their body to hurt, or the Marines create, who aren't as strong, for like the little infantry, not like the generals and commanders and stuff like that. They will use sea prism bullets. Oh man, I'm gonna get ruined.
Dude,
Something
you're
like
just,
that. Something
you're
like
just
that.
digging
Yeah, I'm just
deeper.
digging. I'm digging deeper,
Yeah.
trying to help. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, we learn about that a little bit.
Mhm.
In,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that scene. And then we go to back to the present day, and Nami's trying to open the safe, and then they all suddenly get attacked with. She gets it open,
Mm-hmm.
and they get the map right
Oh yeah.
to the
Yep.
to the line,
The Grand Line.
the Grand Line. But then just as they start looking at it, and she explains the different parts of the sea, then yeah, they get attacked, and they get
Luffy just swallows it whole.
And he swallows it, yeah, which is
So
so weird, but also kind of
yucky
crazy
looking.
that he can do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so then they wake up and they're all captured by Buggy the Clown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Great entrance for him.
Yeah.
And I one of my favorite things was just the like telling everyone that's in the crowd, but it's obviously like the prisoners, but you know, like when to laugh, they're holding up the signs. Like that was great.
Yeah. 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 So we get to meet Buggy, and then well, Nami kind of tries to throw him under the bus and run, but doesn't work out so well. And then they kind of split him up because then he realizes that Luffy has the powers, and then so he puts the other ones in a cage in the other room and starts stretching Luffy, as you were talking about.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but before we get like we see Kobe and the Marines, and he gets cross-examined because then that
I remember
admiral,
this part. Oh,
the admiral shows up and he's like, I don't believe your story's got some suspiciousness to it. Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, and then we come back to them in the cage with Zoro and yeah,
The guy that looks like he's from Scott Pilgrim.
yeah,
He
It's
does.
like one of the evil exes.
He looks a lot like him.
he does.
What is that guy's name? Do they say his name?
I
I don't think they do.
I don't believe so.
The knife thrower.
Yeah.
The knife thrower, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll call him that.
And as he's stretching as Buggy's stretching Luffy out, and he's pressing his buttons, and he finds out that
Finds his weak spot.
Shanks is who he looks up to and stuff. So like kind of like a father figure, and then he's like,
The man in the straw hat.
yeah. So then he puts him in the tank, right? Water tank.
Probably the best scene in this show.
Yeah, seawater specifically.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, seawater. Yeah.
That is a good scene.
It was
yeah.
awesome.
And then while he's in there, he starts flashing back to like the moment that Shanks like kind of saves him, and
Oh man, the
seawater.
sea monster was awesome looking.
Yeah, it was.
I was so excited to see a sea monster
Do we
this early.
do we know what like that is specifically at all, or is it just a random sea monster?
No,
Nothing
not that I,
wondering.
not
Okay.
that I, not that I can
Just
remember.
one of
but
the
it's from
many.
the very, very beginning of the anime,
Yeah.
and they don't mention it in the live action, so that's
Okay.
that's
It's
why.
really cool.
Yeah. It looked good.
Hmm.
yeah. So it was like, it was cool. I mean, obviously Shanks loses his arm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of sad, but
Yeah, it is.
then and then
It's crazy how much he's just like, even with his arm gone, he just like tells Luffy, he's like, it's all right, it's just an arm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like even in that
it's
situation,
not a
he's-
life. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah. What a guy. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Shanks is awesome.
He is.
Yeah, so then as they come back, so Zoro and Nami eventually escape, and then they come out and free Luffy from
Mhm.
the tank, and then they all start to try to fight Buggy, and they find out,
He also has a devil fruit.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he splits up in tons of little pieces.
Yeah.
He's
Chop fruit.
yeah,
Oh, that's
Flying.
Nothing
right.
can slice me.
yeah, he's flying around the different parts,
Mhm.
like all going over the place. Which so as a person who had not seen any of this stuff before, when I was watching it, like I'm like, how are they going to beat this guy? Like, you know.
Yeah.
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 And then when he finally figures out, oh, we can just capture different
Lock him
pieces
up.
in little cases
That was so cool.
in chests
Mhm.
and whatnot. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
And I was like, it was clever and fun to watch as a viewer for the first
It
time.
was. Yeah. It was a nice little.
Then he ends up just like with feet in the head,
Yep.
which is also hilarious.
That was yeah.
It's like one of those little troll balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes flying, like he punches him then, right? Luffy
Or he
punches him.
kicks him,
Yeah,
like up into
Yeah,
the.
yeah.
he sends
And
him
he goes
flying.
Makes a
flying
hole
away.
in the tent on his way
But
out.
I mean, obviously, like I'm sure we're gonna see him again.
He'll be
Oh
back.
yeah, they're not done with him.
He doesn't die, I guess. Like
Right.
he's just in a bunch of
No, yeah,
pieces.
he'll be back. He'll be back.
Eventually, he'll unlock the crates.
Get all his little pieces back.
Eventually.
Yeah, someone will. Well, it's we did in there somewhere in there. There was the flashback again, where the crew ends up having to fight those other guys at the
At the little bar.
at the bar. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and that was a cool fight scene.
Yeah,
Like,
that was.
the
Oh, you're talking about Shanks' crew.
Shanks crew,
Yeah,
Shanks crew, yeah, and
Yeah.
we had a flashback on Luffy's kid,
Mhm.
and like that was fun because like I love that opening where he's like at the handgun, like the pretend handgun, and pointing at the guy, and then but then his buddy from behind like shoots it.
Mhm.
And it's just like a fun,
Yep.
fun little.
The one shot where he's like shoots and then it ricochets off
Yes,
it and
yeah.
then goes the other way. That was sick.
Yeah.
The way they shot that.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
yeah. So there was some cool footage of the fight scene there.
So we're still going. We mentioned this the first time. It's like, so I imagine the whole way through this whole first season, all the fight scenes are going to be great because
Yeah.
so far they've been top notch. Yeah.
It'd been cool. Yeah.
Which actually makes sense. You said Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, not the stunt. Or
No,
was
it
it just the writer of Daredevil?
Right. I
Oh, it
think
was
it
the
was-
writer.
It was the writer last week, I think, or
Because I wonder if anyone, because I mean, that has amazing fights.
The director
Okay.
directed
So we
some
would have
episodes of
some.
Daredevil, The Witcher, and Hannibal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I was wondering if there'd be any similar.
But also, I mean, there's some, but like a lot of times in those, you have the stunt choreographer
Right,
that
that would be the
has a
main-
lot
yeah.
to do with those scenes, than more so than the director. But yeah, at least I feel like, yeah. And then we get to kind of the Shanks though leaves and Luffy's all sad, but he realizes he's not ready.
Yeah.
Right? He
yeah.
realizes he's not ready when he's a kid.
I was wondering, going back to Shanks saving Luffy. What were you guys' thoughts on that specifically? Like, it's so hard for me specifically after seeing the actual anime and then seeing all of this already and going back and watching it to do this, to like not give my first reaction to seeing this stuff. So like I'm just like, here's like, because obviously Shanks just looks at the
Right.
the sea monster and then he tells it to go away.
Right.
Like what are your
Oh,
guys'
right.
thoughts on that? Like
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did forget about that. Yeah,
'Cause I remember
I mean, I was like, okay, that's
How?
weird. Like,
Right.
like, what is it? And then also, it was to me, at least the way it was shot, it wasn't obvious, like how he lost his arm. Like you're like,
Well, they
assume-
have it kind of hidden, yeah, at first.
and then,
they
but then it's like
reveal
you
it.
assume you're like, okay, maybe did the monster bite it off?
The first lunge he makes into the
Mhm.
boat, like when he comes out of the water, I'm assuming is when it.
Yeah, because it bit part of the boat off too.
Yeah.
But it's like not obvious.
Yeah,
And then
it's not.
And
You're
then
right.
you're like,
Mhm.
Well, yeah, it's not supposed to be because of Luffy finding, like, he doesn't notice it at first either. He's
Yep.
just like, Shanks, thanks, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's like, and then he notices and he feels bad about it and all that.
So he's got
some kind of power.
way more, powers than we think.
Is that why his hair's red?
No, not particularly. He just has red hair. That's an anime thing.
Just has the red hair?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like Zoro has green hair.
So does he just have dominion over the sea creatures, like the sea monsters? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering your guys' thought because I
Yeah.
actually know why he
Okay,
can do
yeah.
that, right?
how else? I mean,
But like
with
then you
this
got
freaking giant.
you gotta think like I don't know. He's just like he's so calm. Like even when
Yep.
because like during the crew fight scene, right? The guy has a gun pointed at him, right?
I believe
Or
so.
he's doing something, and then like Shanks just points his finger, and like the guy's like laughing.
Yeah.
But like, how can he just like? Is he just? Are you guys thinking like, oh, he just trusts his crew that much, or like,
That's what.
or
I
you
was
think he
thinking.
also has power to tell someone else to go away? Like I don't know. I'm like wondering like.
No, in that case with the gun, I just
Mhm.
assumed he trusts his crew.
Right, right.
Yeah. His guy's back
Okay.
that much.
Obviously, there's something special about him, though.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there has to be. Just
For
don't know
sure.
yet.
And I would also imagine. I mean, I don't know. I don't expect Lucas to answer this because he probably already knows. But I imagine there might be more to Shanks and Luffy's relationship too. It seems it might be that way
Yeah. Maybe in the future.
because they have a. It seems like they have a more of a connection than just like someone. Because in the first episode that's when he first. Like, was he with him at all before that? In the first episode, Luffy with Shanks.
What
Or
do
did
you
he
mean,
first
with him?
find-
Well, I
with
feel
him?
like they were already like at least the way it seemed like he was already
were
a kid
together?
that was around. and
Yeah, yeah. It was like it's their. I don't know. I can't remember if it's like it's not Shanks. It might even be Shanks's home village or whatever, but like or hometown.
Mhm.
Like but he had been coming there for years, right?
Oh, okay.
And so, and like Luffy grew up like seeing, and Luffy's always known he wanted to be a pirate, right, and stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
he looked up to Shanks, like you said, like a father figure.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, that's as far as their relationship goes. So
Okay.
maybe, but maybe not. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it's just because of other stuff I know. I'm pretty sure it's just a father figure.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so then once they kind of head out, they leave the island. Then we've got Nami fixing the hat, which Luffy was like very happy about because
Yeah.
the straw hat. She was
Mhm.
selling the straw hat. But then she goes into the secret room and calls somebody, which
Little
is
snail phone.
On
Snail
her little,
phone,
her
which is
little
hilarious.
snail pod.
yeah, the little like snail, which I thought was hilarious because
Yeah.
after we saw the like
the big one.
big
Yeah.
ones, you know, it was like a little portable
Yeah.
earpiece. Yeah. So she's
Which that is something new in the live action. I'm 99% sure.
Oh,
So
Her doing that?
so she wasn't betraying beforehand.
no, he
Well,
means like
no,
the
I mean
little
the
earpiece.
little snail
Oh, the
earpiece.
snail piece. Okay, got you.
Yeah, that's not something that was in the anime,
Mm.
from what I remember.
The snails at all, or just the little
No,
ones?
no, the big snails.
Okay,
they're
all
very
right.
they're
All
very
right.
iconic.
Okay.
But the little snail pod, that's new.
Gotcha.
I had never seen that before. Because I remember seeing it, I was like, what?
We should find
But
like a.
I think it was one of their ways of speeding up the process of her getting in contact with.
Okay,
Mm.
got you.
Well, yes, it was, and so otherwise she would just had to use a real big snail. And so
Yeah,
I
is
think
it
they were
this-
just like, oh yeah, let's just give her a little, and it's like fine. I'm okay with the way they intertwined everything and like shortened it. There's one fight scene that they took out that I really wish would have been in there, but
Oh,
it's later on in the season.
okay. So the person she's talking to, that's the same person we saw before, right? I want to say.
Did show,
This is the Marine, right? Isn't that who she's talking to?
didn't show us who she was talking to.
Mm-mm.
It did.
Oh, it didn't.
No, it doesn't show.
Oh,
I thought it showed the guy on the ship. What's his name? Maybe not.
What? Garb?
Yes. Was it not him?
I thought it was him.
That's not who she was talking to.
Oh, okay.
That was at the end of the first episode. It showed
yeah, but
the
I
other
thought-
guy calling Garb. But
Right.
Garb's now on the
I'd have to
mainland.
rewatch it at the
Well,
end.
I also something else because I think I was talking about a little bit this last time was the I don't know if he has a name. So the general leader guy with the sun
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was Morgan.
with the-
Captain
Captain
Morgan.
Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
and his son.
That has the metal jaw.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was at first. So it's MOWE is what's on that.
MOWE.
Because it
Yeah.
says something on it, and
It
I didn't know what
says
it
that
was
on
at
the
first, and I had to look at it closely to
Metal
see.
piece.
Does that? I don't know.
I think there is something very
Okay, I just
underlying,
wanted
but
to
it
ask
has
you
not-
if
I
it
don't
would-
think it has anything.
All right.
No, look it up. Real
Well, I was
quick.
and then I was gonna say like so. Then we to finish up the stuff with the Marines. Then we show he gets basically court-martialed or whatever for lying about Captain Morgan does.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
arrested and put it like out there, and then so then his son joins the Marines too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's there with Kobe,
Yeah.
and then of course General Karp.
Oh.
Orders a manhunt for Luffy.
Right.
So, as everyone would know, the logo for the Marines, right, is a seagull.
Oh, okay.
It's just the German word for seagull.
Oh.
So it's the logo, basically.
All right.
Otherwise, it has no other meaning.
Okay.
Just cool, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
That's
I
it that I have.
covered. Yeah. I mean, it was a fun episode. I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think the Buggy character was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
this
The
is like
performance and
Nose.
That was great. He's like, I have it in my head now.
yeah, this is where like everything starts to ramp up.
Cool.
Like
Cool. Excited.
not specifically the next episode, but the next two episodes and then the following two episodes and then the following two episodes are kind of like part ones and part twos of each other. And so the next story arc, I guess, would be like is where it really starts to ramp up. And yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, in that note, that's for those of you if you're following along. next week we're going to cover episode 3 and 4 together.
Okay.
So we can we'll cover that, like that story arc that you're talking about together as one. Yeah. So with that, thank you for watching, and we enjoy doing this. Hope you enjoy it as much as we do. We appreciate those of you that spend your week to week listening or watching us. If you'd like to support us in any way, we really appreciate. You can like and subscribe on YouTube, or follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you so feel led to give us a 5-star.
If you feel led.
If you feel led
Yeah.
during this
Yeah,
podcast,
maybe pray about it. Something.
Yeah.
If you'd like to send us any feedback, which we would love to get, thoughts, prayers, send it to ScreenTime, feedback at screentimepod.com. And if you want to follow any of us on Instagram, I'm at JYoungBar.
I'm at Lucas Youngbar.
At Claudia Youngbar.
At Jared Youngbar.
And with that, we will talk to you guys next week.
See ya.
Bye.